Huh. Yeah. Oh, I have to do it in English, I heard. I was writing an email, shall I do it in English or German? And I never got an email back. So I'm going to do that now in English. Yeah, thanks very much for inviting me here to MRK in Vienna. I've been to Vienna several times. I was teaching some days at Angewandte, and now I'm here in this building. And it's a bit strange because I don't really know where to look at, left or right. And I also only have 30 minutes, so I have to really speed up. Yeah.
Either you are while you're falling apart and it open a can of worms. And that gun's in my hand and I know it looks bad, but believe me, I'm innocent. And I'm fearful of flying, and flying is fearful of me. And I covered my eyes when she told me the news, turning me on with my lightsaber cocksucking blue. Are you coming? 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 Nicotine stain on account of a crutch, and I'm aching from fucking too much. And I know what I do, and it all points to you. Did you sell me to wanderlust? And I'm fearful of flying, and flying is fearful of me. And I covered my eyes when she told me the news, turning me on with my lightsaber cocksucking. Are you coming? 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 Be where you are while you're falling apart and it open a can of worms. And my gun's in my hand and I know it looks bad, but believe me, I'm innocent. And I'm fearful of flying, and flying is fearful of me. And I covered my eyes when she told me the news, turning me on with my lightsaber cocksucking blues.
Herr Pussy Ween. So that's it. Fast forward. I did it in 2 minutes, and it's over now. Anyway, whatever we're talking about right now seems a little bit silly in the situation we are in right now. I'm not sure what will follow Trump. There's an option. Yeah, probably Homer, but I did that artwork last year, summer, and I never really thought that it could happen. Well, but it happened, and because I'm a bit older, I grew up in a situation that named Cold War, and where the human mankind was very close to completely get doomed by themselves. And in that time, I got really interested in the work of Archigram. I don't know if you know Archigram. It's an avant-garde architectural group in the 60s from London, and they were like researching kind of utopias of the future of living together. And I really liked this idea of a brighter future, a better future, a future I want to look forward to. And well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm really not sure, to be honest, how generations after us will look at our time, what happened there, and yeah, I would like to know what they think of us, and when they look at our artifacts. This is an artifact from 2,000 years ago, so let's see how it is in 100 years. Well, I'm very happy because in the last few months we've been working with incredibly interesting people. Like The Intercept is it's a platform for journalism, critical journalism, and we've been working together with them on their manifest. That's going to be integrated on the website, and we chose kind of a topography or a topographical solution, yeah, to explain it in very, very simple ways what it means. We will not be silent, yeah. So this is going to be released in the next weeks, and beside that, at the moment we are working with the National Museum of African American History, and it's about slavery or the history of slavery. So these kind of jobs are completely the opposite what I'm doing to, yeah, with the commercial clients like Nike. It's really something where you dig deep into a social aspect of our history, and then, yeah, have a look how you could communicate to the younger generation in a way. So this is just in progress. And it all happened because of this spot we made. That's the Women's National Basketball Association. And because both clients saw this spot, they asked us to work together. So it's quite interesting how people come to us and haven't seen other work before. I spent most of my Eastern working on a campaign, on a big campaign that's going to be released at the Gay Pride worldwide. And it's about gender and all the things that comes around with that. So it's yes to all, and no to no. But I'm not able or allowed to show you that, but that was really something I did quite before I arrived here. I started my career as an art director of Logic Records. That's a small independent techno label back in 1992. And it was run by Snap. You might know the band, Snap. But the way the company was built became somehow the blueprint of my own company. And after 1.5 years being the art director of this label, I decided to start my own one. And the name of my studio is Horde. That was in 1994. Kind of an after-school club, because I really didn't know, I stopped going to university. I wasn't really sure, am I ready to go into business? I didn't really know how this world works. There's a different language, and I had no business plan. I had no idea what really to do. But I thought, okay, I'm a little bit naive. I just do it, and Horde feels like a kind of a safe space where you go after school and still play, learn, and grow. So Horde became a very good name for my studio because it became the mission of my studio. And because I had no idea of how to construct that thing, I thought, well, maybe just write down some simple things that are important for me. Yeah, kind of a little manifest, also very naive, I mean, but I'm still going back to that, and I'm still referring to it, even now, or or in future. But more important, I like to invest in relationships rather than money and success. That means all of my all of my impact and support should go into people and not to raise my money or that I will stand here one day on stage. I'm very lucky that it happened like this, but it was not my idea of doing that. And how it changed completely throughout the years. I started alone, was working for 3 years completely alone, and then I had a burnout, and then I started to work with people because I thought, okay, I can't do everything by myself, so I decided to work with people that are younger than I am and much better than I am, because in this situation I can learn from them. And so throughout the years, more than 80 people worked together with me in the studio. And yeah, then we shot a photo just to mark it as a moment in our biography. This is a new one here. On the left one is a bit older. And the left one we shot because of a conference in Australia. And it was also the kind of a crisis at that time. And it seems like if there's a crisis, especially in the economy, people trying to give a very good name or a nice name to a conference, like forward, look forward, forget what is happening now, look forward. Or at that time it was optimism. And I thought, okay, I take a photo of our team, a young agency is looking optimistic into the future. Yeah, it's okay, it's not so funny. Honesty is funny, no? So I started to work in a team, and I think really teamwork is something that is really helping me to go through my life in a much easier and better way. I'm still having fun what I'm doing because of the people I'm working with, and I'm really most inspired by these people. I don't really look to other people's work. I really just listen to what they are doing and what they are thinking. But we still have this kind of, the way we work together is very, very important. So also, sounds naive, but I think it's kind of a very good foundation because we spend so much time together, and because of following this kind of rules, we really became very, very close, and I can't just exchange any person in my studio. If someone's leaving and starting his own business, that's super fine, it's also part of the process, but I can't just take someone else and you know, put them in this hole that suddenly is there. So I work with 2 guys for over 16 years now, and the rest of the team for over 7 years. So you see there's we really kind of know each other very well. And I think the way I treat them, or the way we work together, is much, much more important than the work I'm doing. And I will be proud in the end of my life more about the way I did that, starting that, helping young people to grow and start their own business, and less this silly graphic design. What the fuck is graphic design? So we are not structured like most of the companies are, like a pyramid. You know, there's one big ego on top, and the rest have to just follow. I think that's really sabotaging creativity, and it's an old model. It survived for such a long time, but I hope it will change in the future. We are more the reservoir dogs. So throughout the years, our work changed. I think we have been doing a lot of pictures at the beginning, like picture maker. That's not really interesting to make a nice picture. That's very easy, to be honest. And then we focused more onto image creator or brand creators. And so in the beginning we were first 1, then 4, and suddenly we were 8. We moved to Berlin. Then we were 13. That was too big. We cut it down to 7. That's the ideal group size, like a 2 family pizza size. You can feed them with 2 family pizzas. And we are a collective. That means, I mean, we have this space, this very nice space in Berlin, where we all come together and we work on big jobs together. But everyone is also an individual and runs his own little practice, and some are more into art, some are really doing like graphic design for smaller institutions. So I think everyone is able to, you know, like agree on that moment, okay, we work together, but at the same time, they have their own vision of life. And I think that was also helping me to start doing other things than just running a studio. So the half of my time is gone, and I haven't shown any work. So because of that situation, I created, like, the studio is completely running without myself, you know, like I can be off on holiday for 3 months, and it would still work. That's fantastic, oh? So I thought, okay, I have so much time now because I created this organism that is somehow feeding itself, and it works very well. Why not, you know, like the time I have now, why not just start teaching, you know? So since 6 years now, I'm a professor for graphic design and illustration in Offenbach. And I have a class named Königsklasse. It's very funny because our school, when I arrived there, they told me, okay, we don't have classes, like it's completely without the ego, it's about, you know, the students. And then I figured out, oh, every professor has his class somehow, you know. And so I thought, okay, why not name my own class Königsklasse? That's a little bit arrogant for sure, but it's also funny, oh? I mean, and being in an institution, it's, you know, I never really worked in situations like this, you know, like agreeing on something with other people, fighting for something with someone or against someone who's having a different opinion than I have. And it's like the coming together of the biggest egos you can find, you know, in this country. So it's like, yeah, you have to pee a lot, you know, like you have to mark where you are, where you've been, what you have done, and you have to promote always yourself. So this is my actual class. And the thing is, we have Sascha Lobos doing typography, he's a great guy. We have Klaus Hesse who's doing graphic design. So I thought, why shall I do another class that does graphic design, you know, in a very conservative or classical way of thinking. So my class is more an interdisciplinary class. And I have painters, sculptors, photographers, writers, musicians, graphic designers, pot smokers. You should drink alcohol more. And stuff like that. And I think that this course that happens in that class is much, much more interesting than if you just meet the same kind of people with the same interests. So, yeah, we do it a little bit differently. I just show you some examples of the work. It doesn't really look like graphic design. It's more, we are more researching in the moment where design meets art. And we do a lot of excursions, like last year we went to Tokyo for months, and then we're doing an exhibition about what happened when we went to Tokyo with us. And now that was 2 years ago. And last year, I did a year about fashion. That was about a garment by a futurist, an Italian futurist in the 20s named Tuta. And we reinterpreted the garment, hacked it, changed it, made it more contemporary, and then we did a show about the work. Yeah. Okay, forget about that. Because time is really running, so like I said in the beginning, like you really have to set a mark within this group of egos. So I decided to make a design festival. In the first year I started university, and it's named After School Club for sure. And it's in the break, in the semester break, so we occupy the space And then we invite 120 students from around the world to come and live there for 1 week in a kind of design camp. I invite artists, designers, graphic designers, all kind of different disciplines. And then we do workshops, we do lectures, we network, we become friends. And that's the fourth one now I'm organizing. It's happening in September 2017. And the whole thing is for free. So my idea is, like, my parents, yeah, somehow, like, whatever you do will come back to you. I think that education has to be free. So it's a weird thing for an American student to come over and, yeah, get all of these things for free. So if you're still a student, you can join us. There's a website named afterschoolclub.de, and then you can have a look what happens there. Besides that, I'm researching in my private life about language, and especially the written word. It's text-based, and I figured out I can spend the rest of my life doing this, but I will not go into details, just to give you an idea of what I'm also doing. So the company itself is somehow now split up in two parts. It's not split up, but we are doing a lot of cultural work. And especially because we did Bauhaus-Dessau, the redesign of Bauhaus-Dessau, a lot of cultural institutions came to us and wanted to work with us. I always had this feeling like, you need someone like a visionary, someone who's really or giving trust in you to start working in a new kind of business field. And Philip Oswald, the director, he thought that we are able to do that. So that changed completely the way the studio went. You know, like suddenly we were completely into performing arts, contemporary arts. We were doing biennials, triennials. So we are working much, much more with curators, with curatorial directors, and with artists themselves. So I could show you now some of the stuff, but I think we can switch that. You just go on the website. That is kind of reduced because we don't want to show much work anymore. But there you find most of the stuff, explained in 10 images. But the problem with cultural or working for cultural institutions is that there's no money involved. What I'm really find sad, because I think the engine of a society is culture, so you have to invest a lot of money to get that, moving forward. So by cutting it down, and somehow we are the end of the chain, simply means that you nearly work for free. What I really don't, want to do, but somehow if you want to do that, you do that. Like, I don't want to do that, but I do that. So you need to have some other clients that pay your rents. And we work with these massive global companies, and we don't work with agencies, we work directly with the headquarters. That means Microsoft, we work in Seattle, and Nike, we work in Portland. And we do a lot of things, like with Nike, I'm working now since 2005, and I'm still working with the same creative director, Michael Spoljaric, and then some other people came and joined us and worked together with us. And we work in complete different levels of briefings, like sometimes they really want us just to explore the possibility of how visual language could be connected to Nike. These are, for example, artworks that were just completely internal used. The right one was we were trying out what you can design when you use the program Word. And then these are, for example, visual research in running. So it's just about what can you do to, with shapes and color, to communicate speed, or like all these things that are connected to running. It's just a visual research. And then we have these very classical campaigns that totally work, but are not really interesting for me. I mean, they are nice, but yeah. And then we have these situations where they always ask us, okay, show us something that is very, very extreme far away from what we will do, and something that is close to what we can do. So this is New York City Empire tested. This was the most extreme version, and it ended like this. So you see, I mean, it's still nice and well-designed, probably, whatever that means, well-designed. But for sure, I'm much, much more interested in that kind of, you know, like, I see myself much more in being a scientist, in what is possible, and not in just repeating what other people have done. So, okay, this is part of the business, but I just do it, yeah. So, but we do like creative direction for basketball. What you see here is kind of the direction book. That's an internal book that they use, and whenever they brief someone outside, they will get the rules we defined. And so maybe you have seen already work done by other graphic designers in Germany that looked like this. Yeah, it's based on the book we did. So, but we don't always show everything. So, yeah, you see, and right now, we work on the new one. That was 2 years ago. So right now we work on the actual one that will be influence the language and the visual language of basketball from next year on. Down so much that all you can manage to do now is sit there, thinking back on all the choices that you made to get there. Not having fun now, there's just so many reasons, feel as if my soul's a broken